former president of the Maldives and a constant thorn in the flesh of the present government in Male. Former President Mohamed Nasheed is joining me on a Times Now News Hour exclusive from Male. Good evening, Mr. Nasheed. How are you doing?
Well, I'm much better, but I must say thank you to all Indians, the Indian government, and especially the staff of the High Commission and the High Commissioner for the hospitality that they have given to me during the last 10-11 days. Thank you very much.
Well, it's good to see you hale and hearty. People in India and elsewhere were getting concerned about your security. Of course, you were very secure when you were in the Indian embassy. But there was genuine concern at one point of time that your government there, so inimical to you, might even use force to pull you out. Were you afraid of such a situation?
Well, yes, the government here was formed by brutal force. It was a government formed through a coup. And to legitimize that and to consolidate that, I'm sure they're having to go to all sorts of means. And it was always a worry that they might resort to any means.
Have you been worried about your safety? We have been getting some reports, Mr. Nasheed, that we heard about one journalist, for example, who was supportive of you, who was attacked quite brutally recently. If that can happen to one of your supporters, what about you?
Well, yes, it is very precarious, and I am worried about my security. But that doesn't mean that we can stay at home and not do our work. We must get out and we must see that the situation here in the Maldives is stabilized. We must work as much as we can, and we will do it.
I just want to be very direct with you, if you don't mind, Mr. Nasheed. Some people say that your credibility as a politician in your country will be hit because you will be seen as too close to the Indians. You will be seen to be an Indian puppet. What do you say to that?
I think there is a misconception here on the kind of ideologies and ideas that are in confrontation or in conflict in the Maldives. On the one hand, there is, of course, extreme religious rhetoric, xenophobia, nationalistic and racist ideologies that is fostered through the 30 years of dictatorship and the autocratic rule that was here in the Maldives. But the Maldivian Democratic Party is a more liberal, outward-looking international party. And that is the message that we are coming out with. The vast majority of the people here understand that for the Maldives to rapidly develop, it must be able to plug into the rapid development in India. It must be able to live amicably with India. This has been our tradition all throughout the many years. And I don't think there is such a sentiment here. I am a politician. If there were such a sentiment, I would think twice before doing it. I don't think this is correct at all.
Do you think the present government in the Maldives is playing footsie with the Chinese, giving the Chinese a strategic foothold in your country?
Well, I'm always very worried about other countries and other forces coming into the Indian Ocean. We've always believed that a stable Indian Ocean would depend on a very strong relationship with India. We've always believed that a good foreign policy would be to find a friend and to stick with the friend, and not to play that friend against other people. Our foreign policy is very simple. And it is a worry that other countries might find a foothold in the Indian Ocean and specifically in the Maldives.
One reason why people believe the government of India is backing you is because you stand very strongly against certain religious fundamentalist forces which are trying to gain ground and establish currency in your country. But I'd like to have your reading on it. Tell me, Mr. Nasheed, why is the government of India supporting you, going all out for you, to the point where there were some people in Delhi who said, why are we risking everything by giving, by giving protection and support to Mohamed Nasheed, even at the risk of losing our relationship with the existing government in the Maldives? Can you tell the people of India, Mr. Nasheed, why our country is supporting you so much, in your view?
Many reasons. To start with, first, I do not believe that India is supporting any individual or any single party, but it has a view on what would be best for India, and therefore how would that be attained through stable government here. So their view is how would we have stable government in the Maldives and what would be the best way to go about it. The existing government is formed through a coup. It is headed by my vice president. It was backed by Islamic radicals and other autocratic parties who've been lingering even after the first multi-party elections. Now they were trying to consolidate their ways of thinking, which were not, I'm sure, in line with any democratic country or any freedom principles or philosophies. So it was very difficult to any democracy to back the existing regime or what was trying to come out. And I think the Indian people and the Indian government is trying its best to see how stability can be maintained in the Maldives. They understand the support that the Maldivian Democratic Party and I have, and I'm sure that they are aware of what would happen if there ever be a vote in the Maldives.
Yes.
We have very good support, and we are very sure that give us a free and fair election, we will win it any day.
Do you think you'll win the election? Do you think you'll win the September 7th election? Don't give me a standard political answer that I will, because no politician, of course, says I won't win an election. What is your gut feeling, Mr. Nasheed?
Well, if you have a look at the numbers, we've had recent by-elections, and we've had local government elections, and we've had parliamentary elections in 2010, 2011, and a number of by-elections in 2012. Now, in 2008, in areas where we did very, very badly, we are around about at 42 to 50%. But in urban areas like Male, where we've always traditionally been strong, our support has increased many, many fold. People don't like this brutality, the police brutality. They don't want a coup government. And for the very first time, the people of the Maldives were able to elect their own government in 2008. And they have lost it. So they want that back. It's not necessarily about me. It's about democracy in this country. You must understand that the vast majority of the people in this country are very young. More than 70% of the population is between 18 and 35. And you can therefore see where the vote would swing. We are very, very confident that we will win it in a first round, and we will win it very handsomely.
Mr. Nasheed, just a quick counter to that would be that if Mohamed Nasheed has such support, then how is it possible for a popular president to be overthrown in a police coup? I still remember the pictures of seeing you and the manner in which you were almost hounded out of office in a completely undemocratic process. A few months back, we had spoken to your spokespersons and to yourself at that point of time. How did that happen then? If you are such a popular man, how did they do that?
Well, they had the mutinous elements in the police, in the military, had surrounded the national security headquarters. And to disperse them, I would have to use live ammunition. I would have to use extreme force. And that would have meant shooting at our own people. I never thought that, I still don't believe that I was elected to shoot at our own people, may it be the mutinous police or the military. I have always understood that, okay, that was the time I was forced to step back, but we always understood that there will be another day, that we will be able to come back. And in fact, we feel that through that coup, the whole country has been able to gain a whole lot of other experiences, and I'm sure we would be far better because of that as well. Even, next time around, I'm not going to shoot at the people. But I hope that there will be reforms in the police, there will be reforms in the military. And we believe that for us to have a free and fair election, it is not only that we have an inclusive election where I'm also able to take part, but it is also very important that the mutinous elements, both in the military and the police, are removed and these two institutions are reformed.
I understand.
So,
I understand. But, You're a gritty man, I can tell you, Mohamed Nasheed. You are one gritty man. I'm sure many people have told you that. What kind of security do you carry, by the way, around you? And do you worry about yourself and your family, your personal safety?
I do. I worry a lot. But then again, I can't be running around saying I worry and I worry and I worry. We must move forward. We must understand the challenges that we have and the precariousness of the situation. I have some security, but I'm very confident that the public in the Maldives wouldn't come and attack me. I'm very, very confident about that. Even if they were gangs paid by the others, they would think twice. They would think many, many times before executing such a contract. I'm very, very kind of, in a sense, confident that they would know that it's me and therefore it's not very right to do. These are young delinquents. They've lost their way, and that is part of the problem of our society. But then the security forces, yes, I worry about them a lot. And I believe that they are mutinous and they have to conclude their business. They have unfinished business, and I am their unfinished business.